So I'm going to reveal to you guys exactly why most people fail to make money in the online coaching and consulting space despite posting content every single day and putting their heart and soul into it and giving it the best shot. And actually the exact system behind how I scaled my client Matt Young over the last 45 days from zero to $15,000. He actually just messaged me this morning saying he's about to scrape the $20K mark in about 50 days now, which is crazy because bearing in mind when he started with me, he was at zero followers. He'd not been posting. He had no existing offers. This was just an idea. He was like, Tom, I would love to do what you're doing in this space, actually coaching people and helping people through what I've effectively gone through. And I want to turn this into an offer. And within that time period, he's not far off his annual salary in a month or so, which is crazy. And it means a lot to me because I've built multiple seven-figure offers now myself, but it took me a long time to get to that point. I think it was my fourth year I made my first seven figures. And to get to that point, I'd invested over £180,000 in my own coaching, my own consultancy, gone through early mornings, late nights, every single failure you could imagine. And now I can give back to people. And this is the reason behind this video. I really want to share not just the system on how I build these businesses and how guys can do it too, but also I want to show you guys Matt's 5 biggest secrets that he's personally shared with me on his perspective on if you're in the same position, whether you are stuck, you might have an existing brand and you're stuck and you just can't get that velocity with scale, or if you're in the exact same position he were where you're just starting out, what are the 5 biggest shifts you need to have internally to get to the point he has in such a short period of time. I think this is really important. You need to know the framework behind how we do this, exactly what I've taught Matt and I'm going to teach you today, plus 2 bonus tips. But Matt's perspective too, from his lens, if you're in his position, what do you need to shift to actually go from zero to nearly $20,000 in way less than 2 months, which is pretty impressive. So the first thing that you have to understand is that pretty much 99% of everything you see in this coaching consulting space, it's completely wrong. Because here's the thing, everybody posts the same, everybody sounds the same, everybody offers the same, and everybody sells the same, okay? Therefore, what you're effectively doing is giving yourself millions of competition, and that's gonna be distributed very evenly between everyone, and that's why they all have the same fucking Stripe account at zero, okay? Because all of this attention is distributed amongst so many people who can say the same thing. Now, what you really have to understand is that people buy from people. So the first thing we have to do is be authentic, okay? We really need to not just build your personal brand, but we need to build everything from your offers to how you create traffic to how you sell. It all needs to be built around you. So the first thing I take my clients through is something called the identity extraction process, where really what we do is we get very clear on what was your transformation. So I've helped guys who have become amazing at sales and they want to teach people sales. Maybe they've become a great trader and they've left the 9-to-5 and that completely changed their life and now they want to help other people become profitable trading. Maybe they've got in great shape. Maybe they've become very high frequency and they used to be very depressed. Maybe they've gone through extreme adversity, lost family members, and now they've been able to overcome that and turn that into their biggest strength, into value, to skyrocket them forward. Essentially, there is someone else in a position who would be dying to be where you are. You know, too many people think they have imposter syndrome. All you have to do is really understand where were you and where are you now? And is there someone that would want to be where you are now? And then within this process, what we do, we don't just get clear on what the transformation is, but your story. What parts of your story are going to be really magnetic when it comes to essentially helping people relate to you and come through that journey with you, and also the process on how you achieved it. You may have heard the term unique mechanisms. I talk about this quite a bit, but essentially, if you've gone from here, remember this is you, this is your story. You're at A and now you're at H, okay, maybe in your life, and you want to help someone get from A to H. What happened in every chapter? What did you have to do? What framework can we break that down into to essentially help someone else come through that process? Okay, so we really have to understand your identity. right? This is not too much different to what I'm showing you guys now, okay? I have a mechanism behind how I predictably scale all my offers to 7 figures. Like I said, the first time I made all the mistakes, I did stuff like everybody else, and then I had this epiphany moment where I was like, this isn't aligned, this isn't me, this isn't authentic, and 2, it's not scalable. So I went around all the houses and I figured everything out, and I built a mechanism on how I could actually just be me, how I could be one of one and actually get to 7 figures and beyond. And once I had that, it predictably made my second offer 7 figures within months. And now I've helped hundreds of clients go through this exact process. And this is it. This offer, this is one of my offers. I've got 5 offers at this point now in my life because I've gone through so many phases of life that I can help people with all the steps that I've gone through, whether it's elite level high performance, whether it's fitness, whether it's mindset, whether it's building the brand, all of this stuff. So around your identity, okay, it has to be around you. How can we extract everything that's going to make a very special offer that we can offer to people? The second thing is then we need to build out your offers. I teach my guys the 2-step offer system. So effectively, we need 2 offers, one scalable by volume, one scalable by price. Effectively, one is going to be closer proximity to you, one is going to be the same level of value to the same ICP, but really on a more scalable level. If we were to put 50 people in here today, nothing would break, but they're still going to get elite level results. And this group of people can work with you one-on-one. They're going to pay a higher premium, but you're going to go through the same route. But some people just like to work more one-on-one. Okay, nice and easy. So if we look at my brand offers now, for example, you can work with me inside my brand. Matt, by the way, was inside my brand. Matt was in my scalable by volume, where they get access to the full 7-figure course that I built out that basically has my whole mindset, my whole business knowledge, all the blueprints on scaling a business to 7 figures as fast as humanly possible, built around you. So you're actually authentic. Plus group calls with some support one-on-one as well, like a one-on-one onboarding, but then the weekly support is going to be on a group level on the weekly mastermind call. So this really shows proof in the pudding. How valuable. I've had a client work with me in a scalable by volume product, no different to having my fitness offers and performance offers. And I've had a client go from 0 to 15K in 45 days, not even on a one-on-one basis. I teach my guys how to build offers and systems that scale. Okay, so you can deliver, like, you're not very valuable if you can only work with 5 people one-on-one to get great results. You need to be able to work with hundreds of people, but then deliver great results and then also sell. So these offers, we need 2 steps. They need to be crafted very well, and they also need to be able to sell in chat, but I'm going to come and talk about that later on. The next thing we did with Matt, once we had his offers built around his identity, built around effectively, I don't want to go too deep on this right now, but if we're to keep this simple with the offers, once we've got the levels, what we need to think about is, when we come back to the identity part, what is the real outcome they're going to take from your offer? I always see an offer like a line. Where do they enter and where do they finish? When someone leaves your offer, it should be the same for both. They're just different ways of delivering. What do they achieve? Okay, now let's say you got a fitness program. This now has to tie back to your story. Maybe you got in great shape, but people don't buy fitness. People may buy confidence. People may buy competence. People may buy women. Because maybe your story was that to the ICP you're speaking to, maybe you getting in great shape completely transformed your love life, and you're helping people with their love life, but through fitness. Maybe, more like me and my high performance stuff, fitness for me now isn't just about confidence, it's about predictable energy, predictable performance. So when I help my high performance clients, I'm helping them get to the outcome of more income in their business, more clarity, more energy, more performance. Okay, so we really then have to understand with the offers, not just what is the outcome of the offer, but what desires does that help them achieve. And that then really helps us narrow in. So if there's a little bit of banging in the background, next door's having some construction. That helps us narrow in the ICP, which is our ideal client profile. Okay, so some people say avatar client. Effectively, ICP is a little bit above that in terms of I see it like a whale client. Like, who is the exact person we want to speak to? And what we did with Matt, we spent a lot of time within this time period working on who is his ICP, who can actually pay for the program with no cash objection. How do they like to be sold to? What's actually going to trigger them to buy? Okay, and we went through a whole mechanism of how we actually need to communicate through our content to actually get this specific ICP to buy. So every piece of content really felt like it was being created specifically for them. Too many people try and speak at everybody, but we got crystal clear on like one man, who was the ICP and what's everything we need to know about them, so that psychologically when people are watching his content, they're like, fuck, this is me, I need to work with this guy. Because too many people mess this up. You could build it around your identity, you could have some pretty solid offers, but if you can't communicate correctly to make people buy to how they want to be paying you effectively, how they actually are sold to, nothing works. So this is going to come down to like your marketing angle and how you actually deliver your content. This is really important because this is going to be very different for every single ICP. You got to think about it like if you are, quick example, because I want to get on with everything else. If you're marketing to a 17-year-old guy and you are on a make money offer, maybe you're going to show him a Lamborghini and a chick, a little bit more like Tate approach. Whereas if you are on a make money offer, but your ICP is a 40-year-old man, well, maybe the type of marketing is going to be different. Can you understand where I'm going with this? Now, we go to crazy levels of depth on this. Every single client I work with, we don't just build this, but we understand their ICP and I give them a framework for exactly who their ICP is and exactly how they need to communicate with them to actually create sales. Now, once we have this angle sorted on the ICP, we then start creating content, the buyer traffic flywheel. This is how we create all the different types of content that take someone from not knowing you to now needing to buy from specifically you. In this whole world of all of this noise, how do we have people every day like, I need to work with you? Like every morning I wake up and I've got applications. Tom, I'm ready. Like I made a video on one of my other channels a few days ago. And even when the video was only about 400 views, I'd collected 20K in cash from a 400 views video because I understand this so well, how to create the content in a very specific way for that specific ICP and actually have someone now ready to buy through installing all of the beliefs that need to be installed for someone to buy, okay? Really important. Now, when I really talk about the buyer traffic flywheel, you'll hear me talk about Instagram and YouTube. What's really impressive, guys, is that Matt's brand new to this, and I always say we should stack everything on levels. We master one thing, and then we put another thing in. And with Matt, what's really cool, and hopefully is going to give you guys a lot of belief, is that we've not even touched the YouTube side of things with Matt just yet. This is $15,000 cash collected in solely Instagram on a brand new page with no previous authority, no previous offers. That's how fast things can move. So I effectively told him the exact 4 types of content he needs to produce and all the different layers within that flywheeled across the week so that people go through this process on now. They can become aware of him, they can relate with him, they can trust him, they can understand that he's an expert, they can understand that he can help them with a specific thing. They can understand all of the 10 beliefs that have to be true for his specific offer. And all of these tie together beautifully and we layer them on. We took him through this process in this exact order. Okay, this is really, really, really important. How we create content. He's creating content around his previous transformation, specific to his offers that we've built, so that he's only attracting people that would be specific for his offer. Otherwise, views are just pointless. So he's getting views from people who would be aligned with his offer. He's speaking to exactly his ICP, and he's actually now creating content that doesn't just get a view, doesn't just get people clapping, it gets people buying. Because you are not a good coach, you are not a helpful individual to the world if you can't get people buying. Because the real value If you want to really help someone through the transformation, it's inside your programs. Like, this is the sort of stuff that happens inside my programs. 0 to 15K, 7 to 100K in a few months, okay, with some of my more advanced clients who already had businesses at the beginning, okay, and so on and so on. The real value is in your programs. This is where, in my fitness offers, performance offers, I've had guys where I'm working with them, they come to me and they're making $1 million a month, these CEO execs, and they leave the process making 2-3 mil a month through just how we're refining their process and how they operate and their energy and their systems. Fitness guys going from out of shape, no clarity, no confidence, to getting shredded and quitting the 9 to 5 and starting the business. This all happens in my programs, okay? You've got to be good at being able to make people buy. This isn't about you. This actually comes up in one of Matt's secrets that I'm going to reveal with you guys. Sales isn't just about you. It's not about you at all. It's about how can you give to other people. Now, if you can't sell, you can't give what you've really got, okay? So don't think it's just about having a good offer. It's about being able to get people in the offer as well. You can't be really valuable until you do that. Okay, number 5 is then what we need is lead flow. All Matt's business was built on inbound leads, which is really cool. You know, you see a lot of shitty mentors say, oh, just go cold outbound all these people, run ads. I'm like, how can people go and run ads when they don't even have a good offer? They don't even know their ICP. They don't even know how to create content that sells. So why would paying traffic on that work, right? They don't even know how to stand out. This is just burning money, and it just seems like a good idea for the mentor because he can now sell you something. Okay, don't run ads until you're making 100K a month. Promise you guys. Because everything that will get you to 100K a month, then when you turn an ad on, will amplify it. And when I talk about ads, it's retargeting. We always want to be the magnet. We want to understand how can we create content in the world that makes people go, I want to watch this guy. I want to work with this guy. I want this from this guy. I want to buy this from this guy. I want to go through this transformation with this guy. I always say to people when they say, Tom, you've changed my life. I say, no, you changed your life, but you changed your life with my help. You invested in yourself through me, okay? I always say God works through people, okay? You have to be able to do that. So lead flow, we need to create content and have systems so we can have leads. So then we can sell to people, so we can give them the real value. The 3-2-1 method is what I teach my clients. It's what I use on a daily basis with my own offers to scale, okay? Like literally this process, actually just the 2-1 part of that system made me $15,000 just yesterday on just this section with no more than 15 minutes of work, all right? Which is crazy, right? If I knew this on day one, like Matt does, God knows where I'd be now, but I wouldn't change anything because I have the wisdom to teach you guys. So the 3-2-1, this is how we actually get people coming to your page, how we get people actually coming to you for something and actually asking to buy. This is a system. Don't expect to have these extremely high levels of results if there's no system. Don't think the version of you that got you this far, as good as that may be, as good as it may be compared to your old self, it doesn't get you to the next level. When you want to go to 7 figures, when you want to have extreme velocity, things have to be systemized. They need to be predictable. Now, people may think about systems with ads. No, you need systems with organic, okay? We need a system for constant leads coming to you, applying to work with you, or asking you directly to buy, or grabbing something from you, basically putting their hand up, raising their hand and saying, I want this from you. There's a system behind that. The next thing is sell by chat. We need a sales process, okay? Matt has, let me actually just pull up my phone because Matt sent me a breakdown earlier today. I'll try and show you guys. He sent me a breakdown today of all the people, okay? So this is where we were about 5 days ago. Let me just show you this. This is a photo he sent me. Let me see if I can focus it. Is it going to focus? Okay, you can see at the top. That was his first 14,700. There was a 5,000 payment. There was a 4,500 payment, a 1,600 payment, a 1,000 payment, another 1,000 payment, and then something else I can't see because the calculator's going across, okay? But just to kind of show you guys, this here was in our conversation when he sent me this. And he was like, wow, I hadn't even counted this before, now nearly at 20K, okay? All of which, okay, again, I can show you this now. He put here, all, I don't know if the focus is that good, all sold by chat, 0 sales calls. So all of those offers at that price point, I've showed him a system on how he can actually not just create the content, not just get the leads, but how he can sell to those whilst he's at dinner, whilst he's on a flight. I should also mention, he's gone from 0 to 15K in 45 days, but he's quit his job. He's moving to Bali in 8 days. He just sent me that message this morning. So he's gonna be out here. You'll probably see him in some of my content. I'll invite him round. We'll do an in-person mastermind. He deserves it. He's crushed it. And he'll be making sales on the plane. He'll be making sales in the airport. He'll be making sales at dinner. He'll be making sales in the gym. Wherever I am, sales happen very fast because we have the sell by chat process. This is a game changer. You can't scale with sales calls. All right, that's just a fact. Anything less than $15,000 is just instantly sold on a chat unless you need elite level qualifying. But that applies more to agency style stuff, okay? Nice and simple. Now, here's another couple of things I want to add. Bonus. Feedback and analysis. Not only did we give him these systems and a couple more that we're working on, this is just the beginning. Don't see 15K as a big number. 15K is a tiny number, but it's very big relative to what I see a lot of coaches making after 6, 7 years of being in the game, which frustrates me, but it's just that ego that holds them at that level. They don't actually drop that ignorance and fucking get in a room where they can find out how to do it, okay? They want to keep doing the same thing, and they want to prove themselves right that they can do it alone. Matt did this. How? Feedback and analysis. Matt comes on every single, he doesn't just watch all the videos in the course, he doesn't just message me for support, he comes on every single weekly mastermind where we've got all the clients and we basically go through the biggest win and we go through their current position, we do full social media audits, we go through all their offers, we go through all their sales stuff, and we do a full audit and we basically give each client feedback. So Matt, every week can run at 100 miles an hour with what I told him last week. Action it all week. Get more results. But like I said, what's 15K? Even if he came to me saying he'd made 100K, I'd be like, okay, you need feedback. There's always feedback. And he doesn't have an ego. He just listens to someone who's already walked that path. And he goes, Tom, even though I've had the best week of my life, slam me down. What's wrong with what I'm doing? There's always something that can be better. Never get complacent. He takes constructive feedback on the chin every single week on the call, and I analyze it from my level of consciousness and lens with experience in this field, give him his new actionables. So we're getting these every single week. There's just these micro shifts. There's never a week after week where it's just flat, flat, flat. Every week is a ladder, hence why we're at another 5K cash collected in another 5 days nearly. Okay? There's velocity because there's feedback and analysis. The final thing I want to talk about on here, which is very important, which I include in the program, I'm very big on, is mindset. Even with all the knowledge, it doesn't guarantee you're going to get results. You have to be willing to do the personal development work. You have to be willing to install the thoughts, the feelings, the standards, the habits, the actions of someone like myself who already has the results. Matt does that amazingly. We cover a lot of mindset. We cover a lot of limiting beliefs on these calls, but also in the program itself. I always say to people, you got to have a couple of things. If you've got an offer, you need to sell to people who already have the perfect mindset. Very high level people. No one can tell me they've got a great mindset unless they're doing hundreds of thousands a month. Right? If someone says they've got a good mindset, that's just ego. If you have the results aligned with your mindset. But my point is, you sell an offer to people who have a mindset and you just give them info and then they'll just get results. Or what I do is, if they haven't got a high level of results yet, i.e. they're not making 100K a month yet, there has to be some form of mindset. And Matt is so willing to do the work. He's so willing to not just learn this knowledge, but to analyze himself 24/7, adopt my daily process. And he's done all of this whilst working a 9 to 5, so doing this all part-time, and then now he's quit, and now he's moving to Bali. So you've got to be willing to do the mindset work to overcome these limiting beliefs, these fears, these subconscious things, these bottlenecks that you can't even see, and be totally open to kill the current version of yourself. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna pull up Matt's 5 biggest secrets. He messaged me them, because I said to him, basically, Matt, I'm making a video about you and about what you've done over the last 45 days, but what I wanna do is really just get some sprinkles of your thoughts so I can add some more value in, because I think it's really important if you guys can understand it from his perspective. It's all good me saying from someone who's been at 7 figures for a long time now, this is what happens. And yes, I've been in this position, but I want someone who's in your position right now to speak from his lens the biggest things, okay? So here's his message that he sent me. I'm gonna read it out. He put, number 1, if someone has literally every part of your dream reality, the life, the business, the body, etc., all you need to do is listen to what they tell you with absolute tunnel vision, execute daily on what they tell you, and you will fast track your journey 100x. Really that simple, that's all I've done. Now, that's what I've done my whole life as well to get to this point, but I had a lot of figuring out, because a lot of the stuff we have in this business, no one was doing sell by chat, no one understood the buyer traffic flywheel. I had to go to guys who were doing hundreds of millions in other industries and innovate the concept of their elite level marketing into this coaching consulting space. And now, you guys and Matt can fast track this. And that's what I do. When there's something I want, I see life like a bit of a jigsaw. There's all these pieces. I just go find people who have the pieces of the jigsaw, and I just go, shut the fuck up, and do exactly what they say. And that's one of Matt's biggest things. He says, I've just fast tracked this 100x because all I did is he found me and he just did exactly what I told him and didn't get in his own way. I always say you should act from the level above, from someone who's got the advice, before you can think and get in your own way from your current level. This was amazing from Matt, okay? So 1, we could just put listen from authority. This is one of Matt's secret to his success. If he didn't drop this ego, none of this would have happened. 1, because he wouldn't have got into the brand program in the first place. But 2, even if he got in, if his ego was too big, if he weren't just willing to just drop everything he knows that got him so far, he would have just ignored what I said, carried on doing everything. Because I've had people do this and I've had to kick them out. I'm like, you're not doing what I'm telling you to do. I'm giving you all the information to get results. Matt did that. Matt just executed. And this is how fast your life can change. Number 2, you can sell high ticket with no sales calls. This has been such a valuable lesson. I've sold every single prospect via Instagram DMs or WhatsApp. My biggest sale was yesterday in between sets in the gym. Okay? So one of Matt's biggest secrets is just learning the sell by chat process and just having so much fun with it. He always messages me like, I love this shit, and he sends me a screenshot, and it's cool to see. But I love that. The thing is, this is why I want to share you from Matt's perspective, because to me, this is so normal. This is just how I've operated for years. I just always sell on my phone through the day. If I was a bit of a dickhead, I could be making a sale right now, but you guys have got my sole attention, all right? Number 3, you will not get results without doing the work on yourself and becoming the man who already has success, not the other way around. This has been huge working with you because you're all about becoming the man, and this is what a lot of people overlook, and I feel like their results show that. Really important, this, guys. And this is why some of my guys inside the brand program simultaneously run one of my other programs, because we cover so much mindset in here, but it's also about doing the high-level performance work, the high-level fitness work, the high-level process and systems work on yourself, because your character traits, your standards, your personal development problems will become business development problems, all right? Now, Matt is willing to do the work. This is like what I was talking about with the mindset. Matt is really good at not just taking on the business knowledge and doing it, but doing the personal work. And the best thing about becoming the man is, 1, it allows you to get out of your own way and execute on the knowledge. But 2, over time, when you're always working on yourself, you become, 1, more of a magnet to people coming to you. If people see growth in you, that's very attractive. If I was in this position next year, it wouldn't be very attractive. People are attracted to my brand so much because every year there's just consistent growth. And Matt's found that, and even within 45 days, his growth in himself has been ridiculous. He's actually been in my brand and elite program together, which is fitness, performance, and business. And this is just really shown. And I know within the next 6 months, Matt's going to be able to launch even more offers because of how high a level he's gone to. And the higher he climbs, the more levels he can help people with. And again, it's fulfilling, it's aligned with your own journey. Bigger problems also, like value for value, there's a bigger paycheck. If you can solve a bigger problem because you've overcome a bigger problem, you're going to be paid more in return per client. Number 4, he said, people don't give a fuck about certificates on the wall. They want to work with your authenticity and they want to work with coaches who are real and genuine. He said, Tom, like you said, the coaching clones, it's robotic and boring as fuck. Everyone sounds the same, everyone says the same, everyone offers the same. Be you. Be honest about your life. Be honest about your feelings. Be honest about your journey. Be honest about the reality. Show behind the scenes. Really create content that doesn't just educate, but it connects with people. Again, this is really important when it comes to the ICP part and your story, extracting the right parts and being able to share that through your content, especially across the flywheel in between Instagram and YouTube. There's nowhere better to do that. People buy from people. You can't just flex a PT certificate these days or a trading certificate these days. People want to work with the guy who's clearly the outcome, but they just resonate with. People aren't buying my business, they're buying Tom, they're buying me. They get to sit on a call with me, they get to learn from me, they get to go through the transformation with me and enjoy that process. You've got to understand this. And number 5, he put, I've learned not to chase money and outcomes. Instead, focus on the daily inputs. When you told me this, it changed everything for me. And it's when I started getting the most traction. You have to let go of the outcomes and you just trust that if you focus on being the man and doing the task, the high leverage inputs I tell them to do, the results will come very fast as a byproduct. And if you focus on genuinely helping people first, caring about your clients, caring about giving value, you win and everyone else wins. So effectively, he's saying if you understand how to create content that gives value and create sales, you're gonna have the value come back by law. It's law of reciprocity. Okay, if we're following this right. So that's really, really impactful. Okay, so this is what I was talking about earlier. Give, not ask. And authenticity. Guys, this is what you got to run. This is the exact system that scaled Matt from 0 to 15K in 45 days. Like I said, nearly at the 20K marker. Identity extraction, 2-step offer system. ICP, understanding the marketing specific for your ICP. The whole buyer traffic flywheel. So many, like we could have 2 guys, both creating 2 posts a day, for example. And one guy can make 100K in a month. One guy can make 50K in a month. One guy could make 0. It's not the volume, it's not how hard you work, it's what's in there. Now, with the system Matt has, I'm certain by some of the stuff we're working on inside the traffic flywheel to get more of the right eyes, he'll be making 50K in the next couple of months, easily, all right? Because he's got the system, he's got the right infrastructure in place to do all of this. Then a consistent system for lead flow, consistent system for sales, feedback and analysis from someone who's actually got the lens. Most people are listening to guys at their level. Most people are listening to guys who are here, who are there, their family, their friends. Another guy who's making 7K a month or 20K a month and they're just broke. You have to listen to people with no ego. Like I listen to guys who are making hundreds of millions in different industries so I can innovate, bring that back and build a system that's now going to allow coaches and consultants to get to a new level of scale, okay? But not just a new level of scale financially, but in profit, and all while doing it with no sales calls, all while doing it all inbound. Because the whole industry before, the only people who hit 100K a month before me, genuinely, it was just a game model. It was, I'm taking on 5 clients and Here's my tips, and here's how to do a bicep curl, and jump on a sales call with my closer, right? And all of this cringy stuff where you've got to give away 30% margin, and these businesses would say they're making 100K a month, but they took home 30. It's bullshit. This is how you build a one-of-one brand around you, where your clients at every level work with you. At 92% plus profit margin. Until you're at 30K a month, you should be at 100% margin, all right? Here's the 8 parts of the system you need to apply right now. Here's Matt's 5 biggest secrets. Don't go to sleep on this stuff. And if you want help either starting or scaling your own brand, selling your value online essentially through coaching, consulting, courses, or programs, combination of all of them, you can just go to the link below and press the link, work with me. Or if it's not working, because this is a new channel, go to the pinned comment and you'll see the link there. Or likewise, you can follow me on Instagram and just send me the word coach, and I'll reach out to you personally and we can see exactly where you're at, whether you're just starting or whether you've got an existing business, what your current bottlenecks are, and strategize the exact next steps to get you to where you want to be. Now, when it comes to working with me, there are multiple different tiers inside my brand offer. There's 3 tiers, and we can just see if you're a fit for any of them and effectively which one would be most applicable for you moving forward, so we can get your results just like Matt and like all the other guys inside there, and we can crush this. All right, let's get it, let's go. See you in the next one.